Welcome back to another episode, folks. Afro Senpai here. Today we are celebrating fathers. It is Father's Day. Let's go. So before we begin, remember to like and comment below. Subscribe to the channel if you are so inclined. Like I said, today we're getting into celebrating fathers. And if you guys know from my previous Father's Day video, which would be coming up around here somewhere, my dad and I don't talk all that much. It's something that I don't think about all the time, but I know that if he were to put more effort into the situation, I put more effort into the situation, we would be cool with each other. I don't have any bad blood against him for not being there when he wasn't there or not being there today. I just don't want it to affect my kids. That's my only hesitation in forming relationships with him, is if my kids are asking about him and they're saying, well, why doesn't grandpa talk to us or whatever? I don't want that to happen. But having said that, we go to church on Sunday, or at least we did before this COVID stuff happened. And what I've been doing is I've been taking notes in church. Boom. And I wanted to share something that they were talking about with fathers. And before we get into this, if you are not a religious person, feel free to skip a couple minutes ahead. I'll leave a timestamp of when you are no longer hearing about religion down below. But I want you to understand something. Even if you don't believe in a higher power, you don't believe in my faith, whatever, you can at least learn from it. The second you tell yourself that you cannot learn because you don't believe in something, then you're not really trying to advance yourself. And that's what I'm all about. I feel that I can learn from anything. What do we know about Norse mythology? We know it's a mythology, right? But are you going to sit there and tell me that you can't learn from that, or there's not people who are inspired by Norse mythology? I don't want to see any hateful comments on religion or anything, because at the end of the day, at the very least, you can learn from what's being taught. And don't even think of it as something that was real. Think of it as stories that you can learn from. So this was dated just right after Christmas, actually, December 28th, 2019, from, I'm pronouncing this incorrectly, Sirach, not Sriracha, Sirach, verse 3. I don't even know how to read these. 3-2 through 6, and then 12 through 14. And then I put in parentheses 17. 13C, or is that ABC? I don't know. Anyway, it says, whoever honors his father atones for his sins and preserves himself from them. Kindness to a father will not be forgotten, firmly planted against the debt of your sins. Now, I don't know about you, but I have sinned. In order for me to help myself, I need to forgive what was happening in the past, and I need to attempt to form a relationship to honor my father. So in the previous episode, whatever I said something like I wasn't going to try or anything. I've made attempts to text, and we've texted a little bit more, and then that kind of died off. But, you know, when I remember, I reach out to him a little bit in order to progress the relationship. So he understands that, hey, even though we had this crazy past or whatever, I'm still open to something. Whether it works or not, it doesn't matter. I'm putting forth an effort, even though I said I wouldn't in the previous video. I think I'm doing well. Can I be doing more? Of course I could be doing more. Okay, so enough about that. Another thing I'm going to get into is me becoming a better father. Like I said previously, I want to learn from everything. I want to constantly improve myself as much as I can. So I've asked my kids, or I've told my kids, if there's something I'm doing that you don't like, please tell me so I can fix it. Anthony has told me that I interrupt him a lot and he doesn't like it. And it typically happens when he's trying to argue with me. And so I interrupt him to cut him off because I want to get my point across and show that I'm the big boss in here. But I've noticed how much I've interrupted him and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is crazy." So what I'm doing, because I still interrupt him because it's like a habit now, but what I'm doing is I'm apologizing for me interrupting and I'm trying to hold back and catch myself a lot more. So I'm appreciative of him being honest with me and telling me, hey, this is where you're messing up. This is where I could get better. And so that's what I'm going to do. Personally, I've been trying to not raise my voice as much because in the past, when we were growing up, our parents would raise their voice, and that's how we got in line, and that's how we did what we were told to do. But I'm trying to take a different approach with it because I don't want to be that dad who always raises their voice and is always angry. I want my kids to have a positive memory of me as they grow up and when they get older. So lots of stuff that I can be working on as a father, and I am excited to get better and better each year.